How's it going, everybody? This is S3Tide coming at you with the Week 7 college football recap video. I gotta start this really fast because I have like 3 or 4 other videos I'm gonna do after this, so let's jump right into it. Starting on the Thursday game, we have USC and Cal. I predicted Cal to win this game, and I was definitely wrong. USC won in a rout, 30-9 over Cal. Moving on to the Saturday game, we have Wisconsin and Indiana. Russell Wilson had a great game, as well as his running back Monte Ball had a bunch of yards rush. I'm not really sure, but they definitely destroyed Indiana. Indiana's probably one of the worst teams in the country, more or less a BCS conference team, and they need to get it together because they suck. That's the only way you can put it. They suck, and Wisconsin won 59-7. Next game we have with Michigan State and Michigan, a rivalry game. Michigan State's won 4 in a row. Well, this was 4th in a row. Michigan wasn't undefeated going into this game. The more I watch this game, the more I realize how bad of a quarterback Denard Robinson is. He can run like wind, but he can't throw for nothing. I could go out there and throw better than him. He's going to project a lot better as a slot receiver in the NFL than a quarterback, because we know how Pat White did in the NFL. He's retired now. Retired 2 years. He played 2 years in the NFL, retired from that, went and played minor league baseball, and he's retired from baseball now, so I have no clue what he's doing now, but see how that panned out. And Michigan just couldn't get anything going, and Michigan State won 28-14, and that ruined their national championship hopes for this year. Next game, we have Texas A&M 55 over Baylor 28. You got to feel sorry for Robert Griffin, because every game he tries his heart out. He tries his best. He plays so great, but he can't help it. His defense is about as good as my local high school teams, and they suck. Baylor's defense is probably one of the worst in the country. They are just garbage. Robert Griffin's one of the better players in the country. If he was on a team like Texas, or if there's just some team of that caliber, they'd be great, but he's just stuck with Baylor, so whatever they do is all riding on his back, and he can't help it. This defense sucks. So Texas A&M won in a rout, 55-28 over Baylor. Moving on, we have South Carolina, Mississippi State. This is South Carolina's first game with Connor Shaw starting quarterback. Steven Garcia's kicked off the team the first game without him. The main story of this game, well, it was a close game, but South Carolina came out with the victory. The story of this game is Marcus Lattimore was injured. You could tell from the play that it was really, really bad. It turns out to be a torn ACL and something else. I'm not sure, but you got to hope for Marcus Lattimore. You got to hope and pray for a quick recovery. That's one of the better players in the country right there. Hopefully he'll be able to come back next year, not be affected at all, and be able to be one of the top picks in the draft for the following year's draft, because he's one of the better running backs in the country, if not the best. Him and Churchton's right up there. So I just hope and pray he has a speedy recovery, and South Carolina won that game 14-12. Moving on, we have Florida State and Duke. Florida State's first win over a BCS conference team. They won 41-16 over Duke. LSU, Tennessee, not too much to say about this other than Tennessee came out playing tough and just got away from them, and LSU won 38-7. Oklahoma State, Texas, I didn't watch this game, but Oklahoma State won 38-26. Texas kept it kind of close to the fourth quarter. But the young, experienced quarterback, even though Oklahoma State, they didn't have their best game, they still won 38-26. If Oklahoma State could have somewhat of a defense, I can't remember the defensive coordinator's name, but Bill Young, that's his name. One of the better guys in the country, but he does not have any talent on the defensive side of the ball. And if they can put any type of defense up against Oklahoma, that'll be a really tough game, and whoever wins that game is more than likely going to the national championship game. So if their defense can get it together, that's going to be a great game. An upset, Virginia over Georgia Tech. I predicted Georgia Tech to win this game. They were undefeated going into this game. Georgia Tech's been having, in the past few years, had problems like this, going undefeated into a game, then have a trap game like Virginia, and they lost 24-21. Another game, Ohio State and Illinois. Illinois is also undefeated going into this game, and their offense could not get anything going, even though Ohio State's quarterback Braxton Miller didn't get a completion, which was a touchdown until the fourth quarter. Ohio State still won 17-7, so Illinois no longer undefeated. Next game we have Alabama, Ole Miss. The only reason I'm saying this game is because I predicted this game like 55-7, and it was 52-7, so I was so close. I know somebody commented on my prediction video, telling me how close the prediction was, so shout out to whoever that was. Next game, Virginia Tech 38, Wake Forest 17. Oh yeah, Alabama won 52-7. But yeah, Virginia Tech 38, Wake Forest 17. Virginia Tech came out struggling, but Logan Thomas got it all together. He's a great quarterback. Well, proven to be a great quarterback. People were skeptical of him at the beginning of the year because he's a converted tight end. He's really big, like 6'6". He's no Cam Newton, but he can run the ball and throw it around. And they beat Wake Forest, who has been kind of tough this year. They won 38-17. Clemson 56, Maryland 45. Clemson came out to like a 20-something to 10 lead. And Clemson came roaring back in the fourth quarter and won 56-45. They're not going to look back because they're so undefeated. And they can, who knows, if they can win out, they control their own destiny. They might go to the national championship, they might not, but more than likely they're going to lose because they're Clemson. Because they always turn out to disappoint a few people. But they won 56-45. Kansas State 41, Texas Tech 34. Bill Snyder has a great coached team. Fundamentally sound. They can run the ball. They control the time of possession. That's a great example of a team who is probably not if top 25 was based on talent alone, they would be probably ranked not even in the top 50. But the way they're coached and the way they control the football and the way they play special teams, etc., allows them to win games in any way they can. They're still undefeated. They beat Texas Tech, who's not that bad of a football team. Put in perspective, their first week, Kansas State beat Eastern Kentucky 10-7. That's Eastern Kentucky. They're not even an FBS school. They're like Division FCS, whatever you want to call it. But they're figuring out ways to win games, and not this week, but I believe next week it's Kansas State and Oklahoma. And if they win that game, who knows what can happen from there? They'll jump up in the BCS poll. So Kansas State basically controls their own destiny. Auburn 17, Florida 6. Florida could not get any offense going without John Brantley at quarterback. I hope he's back next week. I'm not sure who they're playing. I think it's Georgia, but I hope John Brantley comes back because Florida's really struggling. 3 straight losses: Auburn, LSU, and Alabama. But Auburn, they had to pull Barrett Trotter at quarterback because he just was not getting anything done at the half. They put in Clint Mosley. I'm a pretty good fan of Clint Mosley. He was the state of Alabama Mr. Football, the player of the year in the state of Alabama. He just came from a lower school, so a lower division school in the state, so he wasn't that highly recruited, but he got an offer from Auburn, so he went to Auburn. I'm glad he's getting some playing time now. Kyle Frazier's, I hate Auburn, but Kyle Frazier's going to be a great player. He's only a true freshman. He'll be not necessarily the next Cam Newton, but he's going to be a player of that caliber. So, hate Auburn, roll Tide, but that is something I'm afraid of in the next coming years. Gotta wrap this up really fast. I'm already up to 8 minutes. Georgia, Vanderbilt. I predict Vanderbilt to have the upset, but they came close, but they lost 33-28. Georgia won. I think they pulled. Let me check real fast. I didn't get to watch this game. I was watching the Alabama game. I'm pretty sure they might have pulled. Yeah, they pulled Larry Smith at quarterback and put in Aaron Rodgers' little brother. So Larry Smith is a local quarterback. Came from Prattville, Alabama, a little bit higher, a little bit north of me, but they almost won. But sorry, they didn't. Georgia won 33-28. I'm gonna do one more game, 2 more games actually. Oklahoma, Kansas. This is where Oklahoma not necessarily was exposed, but Kansas has one of the worst programs in the country. Offense is decent, and their defense is probably ranked the worst in the country. Like they're 120th in a bunch of the defensive stat categories. And this game was pretty close going into that third and fourth quarter. It was 24-17, I believe, going into halftime, or 27-17. But Oklahoma, they got it together, pulled out the victory 47-17 over a bad Kansas team. Last game I'm going to do, Oregon 41, Arizona State 27. Still have no clue why College Game Day was at this game, but they were. Didn't watch it, but apparently Oregon won 41-27. So that is it, guys. I'm going to be doing a World Series prediction, a BCS conference alignment prediction, or my own perspective on it, and the prediction video for Week 8. So be looking forward to that. I'm going to record that right after this video gets uploaded, and I'll see you guys later, and goodbye. Roll Tide.